I would like to discuss first issue of globalization. Globalization is sharing of knowledge, sharing of technology, sharing of anything exotic with other parts of the world for the well-being of the people of the world, of the world, or you can say member countries of WTO or any organizational or regional bloc. It was Dr. Mahbubul Haq in 90s. He had discussion with Professor M.S. Swaminathan, father of Indian Green Revolution. He said that Swami, because of globalization, we are going to have a, a sort of a jobless economy. Jobless economy. Economy is there, developments are there in several parts of the world. They can be seen, but there is no job at all. He was concerned about that in which direction we are going. What will happen to third world countries where there will be no job at all? And such type of concept, they are going in favor of the developed countries. Like country like you can say, though he was from Pakistan, but we too, or you can say several other countries are there. We are in the, you can say, developing stage. What will happen to least developing countries? Because there will be no job. Ultimately, it is directly or indirectly, it is benefiting developed nations to great extent. There will be no job. No job. Borderless trade is there, no doubt is there. No doubt is there. But where are the jobs? So he was concerned to great extent about globalization of technology, globalization of knowledge. And there is a control of all these things by multinational, transnational, global corporation to great extent. Still I remember that in case of climatic change, they are not sharing their resources, they are not sharing their technology with third world so that climate change can be mitigated, global warming can be mitigated, because developing nations, they are affected to great extent. So some trends are better, some trends are very bad at it. Like the rise of sea because of glaciers are melting to great extent. So recently they turned down. They are not ready to share their technology, share their talent, share their copyrights. They are not ready to share their technology. So ultimately, who will be the sufferer because of globalization are third world nations, third world countries to great extent. So you can say concern of Dr. Mahbubul Haq, I still remember that third world economies will be affected to great extent because it is a jobless economy. Economy without jobs. They are developing, but we are not developing. Okay, so this is you can say it has a sort of negative facet to the world. LPG, liberalization, privatization and globalizations. Like in case of China, it was adopted in practice in 1980. After that, India in 91, 93, it adopted you can say liberalization, privatization and globalization program. On the guise of Soviet Union had adopted the restructuring of economy, perestroika and glasnost, openness in the economy. In the same manner, you can say India had also adopted the concept of restructuring of economy and globalization of economy, linking of its rupee to the dollar, and you can say India had opened its border for, you can say, global world. And Also, it had taken decision towards privatization of, you can say, more emphasis on private sector. Actually, it was a sort of second revolution in the history of Indian history of economics. Like Mrityunjay Athreya had said that there are a second revolution just after 1947. It first was political freedom, and second one is in 1991. It is a you can say sort of a second revolution. And in case of this one, you can say the then Prime Minister P.V. Narasimha Rao, Dr. Manmohan Singh, and P. Chidambaram, and one gentleman from, you can say, Deputy Governor from RBI. These four people were involved in the process of LPG program executed in India. And after the, you can say that one, or you can say more and more small or least developing countries or developing countries have adopted the concept of globalization, and they had opened their borders for the globalization and trade with other parts of the world. Another you can say trend was that GATT was converted into WTO. GATT was you can say concluded in 93 and submitted in 94. Ultimately, WTO came into picture from 1st January 1995. And at present it has approx 170 members countries, and it is a multilateral trading system under which each and every country has to provide other nations the status of most favored nations, and it is a just it has a just objective of tariff reduction, and you can say a sort of objective have a free trade, but you can say there is no you can say it is not in reality, there is no free trade at all. On the guise of if tariff barriers are reduced, certainly there is a trend of imposing non-tariff barriers in case of import and export actually. And sometimes non-tariff barriers, they cannot be quantified, and their impact cannot be quantified. It is a sort of practice or fashion of adopting non-tariff barrier over the, you can say, transference of product and services between or among the nations. It you can say it brought profound change. WTO brought profound change, and a sort of we can say that it is a sort of transformation, and it, because it is a quasi judicial system, automatic judicial system, because last deliberations of GATT, or you can say Dunkel proposal, it was ratified by the, you can say, parliaments of the respective member countries. Then certain you can say certain concepts they have arrived, or you can say they are unknowingly popular. People have taken into cognizance, like in case of from academics, it is a matter of discussion, it is a matter of study, and you can say researches. Like first one is a Coca-Colization. Coca-Colization. It is a sort of concept, not simply product. Like everywhere there is a Americanization of, you can say, economy, and another one, you can say, westernization, quite old concept, that people of the world, or economies of the world, directly or indirectly they are influenced by western concept of westernization. And ultimately what is happening, that local culture is being influenced, or we can say that it is being killed by westernization. Another one, we talked about Americanization and Walmartization. Another you can say important one in case of retail, it is not simply retail, I tell you. It is when they are coming in, you can say, are entering into any nation or any country, concept is Walmartization. It is so big a concept that a small player either vanished, or they escape away from the scene. And their range of operation is wider enough, and operation is a dominant one, that they occupy a sort of not only physical space but also a mental space. People, they fear from Walmartization. So what will, like a country like India, country like Brazil, country like small nations are least developing, what will happen to Nepal, Bhutan, and where when Walmart will, as a big player, will be there? Such are the issues, or you can say, we can say that it is against, I tell you, and it will a sort of apprehension in case of such type of issues. And then McDonaldization. These people, because of their strength, because they are of prowess and experience, they are dominating like anything because of efficiency, calculability, and predictability and control, like that. So though they are better in terms of quality control, and you can say new techniques are there. It is a learning point from McDonald's and other players are there. But they are also, you can say, criticized for being irrational and de-skilling. Like they are simply our workers or employees. They are working like you can say sort of robot, and they are, you can say, de-skilled, and only they are skilled in one single job of operation. And then consumer workers are there. So sometimes they are behaving like a consumer worker. And another one, like a Disneyfication. They are bringing concept of Disney. Ultimately it is called as a Disneyfication. And people in you can say France or in the streets of Paris, they had opposed the concept of Disney, okay, because it is affecting their own culture. And another one, as we have talked about, we have discussed about imposition of non-tariff barriers. It is a trend, it is a sort of fashion. Again, I am just quoting, like because of this one, health standards are being imposed, product standards are being imposed, like standards are raised to great extent. Ultimately, it is a sort of least developing countries or developing countries they are facing problem in adopting, you can say, higher standards in their product and services. Another one, we can discuss child labor, use of or misuse of child labor, like in case of weaving industry, carpet industry, or cracker industry in India itself and other parts of the world. But country like Bangladesh had objected. Sometimes children are only you can say source of their income, because nobody is there in their family. How they will survive in coming future, when you can say nobody is there in helping them. It is the biggest issue in a third world or you can say least developing countries or developing country. Okay. Then environmental factors are there. It is also one of the issue being discussed at Seattle. It was third meeting, ministerial talk at Seattle, and where child labor or environmental factors were discussed. India, or you can say, though it is a very prominent issue today, we can discuss, we can talk like anything. Like you can say global warming is coming at large, climatic change, they are coming at large. So certainly we have to take it as a, you can say, important issue. This is a latest trend to talk, and you can say, like in terms of sustainable development. In case of sustainable development, three things are included. One is economical factor, second one is socio-cultural factors, and third one is environment is there. Then and in case of WTO, like issues like trade related intellectual property rights, trims trade related investment measure, and guides general agreement trade and services sector. Then these three issues dominated in the conclusion of Uruguay round, 8th round, Punta del Este, and ultimately, as you can say, several multinational companies representative or head of chairman of the multinationals company. They had, you can say, a lot of liaison work with GATT authorities, and their behavior was sort of untoward, while they were instrumental in bringing up trims and GATTs and many are, you can say, non-tariff barriers in picture. Then there is a concept, you can say, nowadays popular among all over the world among countries, like regional blocs, regional trade agreements, regional trade association. Like along with WTO countries member of regional blocs, it is not inconsistent if countries are coming together and forming regional trade blocs. Okay, so then just they are becoming, you can say, such type of association, such type of free trade agreements, free trade areas are there, becoming one of the powerful force are within like NAFTA, like SAARC, like ASEAN countries. Gulf Cooperation Council is there. So within their territory, they have free trade, like European Union is there. Within their territory, comprising of 30 countries, member countries, so they have a sort of free trade among themselves. Okay, then country like you can say Organization for Islamic Countries, SAARC, European Union. But there is a sort of discrimination among nations, like it is a sort of you can say that it is a sort of war between north and south, and south north and south are between developing and developed nations. So sort of biases are there, we cannot ignore. They are you can say, they can be seen while developed nations are behaving with developing nations. Then another concept has emerged in picture are trends like bilateral relations. When countries like developed countries they are not successful in achieving desired goal in deliberations of World Trade Organization, they are indulging into bilateral relationship or agreement. US not is getting desired success in WTO. That is why it is promoting bilateral relationship. Okay, like foreign direct investment in developing countries, MNCs from they are coming rapidly from developing economies like Brazil, India, South Africa. Like BRICS nations are there, big nations are there, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. So this group, one of the dominating group in the world, and you can say like country like India, Brazil, South Africa, Russia, and China, and they are dominating in terms of economy, in terms of political status in the world. Whatever deliberations are there, they are dominating. So ultimately they have their say, and people too they are accepting, because Brazil or India or South Africa, they are coming from third world countries. Then like another one, sustainable factors, another point is there, and it is not to be ignored. Like these three factors are there: economic factors, socio-cultural factors, environmental factors are there. Like we can say climatic change, environmental protocols, carbon footprints. Like in case of global warming, 5 or 6 gases are important, like carbon dioxide. Up to 50% it is responsible. Its level has gone beyond control, like 21 ppm is its presence in atmospheric gases. Another one, methane is there, 19% it is responsible. And then NOx are there, nitric oxides are there, water droplets are there, ozone to some extent, ozone is also lethal one. So world at large, countries, they have to see that they are becoming a sort of danger to the existence of the world. Like another fashion is there, like global operations are there. Global operation worldwide, because every country has opened its border to all over the world, and ultimately they have to collaborate, they have to join either in a regional blocks are there, or you can have a bilateral relationship, or you can say they have to join WTO. In case of WTO, no one can, at present, no one can you can say neglect the you can say operations of World Trade Organization. Then another new concept, new fad is there, global logistics supply chain management. Like this one, supply chain management. Most of the company, they have established as a separate function of the organization. It is a sort of earlier in 90s, in case of India, it was a 30% cost of logistics supply and supply chain management. Though you can say it was just a rudimentary in India in terms of transportation, and several things were there. But when people adopted in terms of professionally managed supply chain, now it is a sort of management, modern concept. They can reduce the cost of operation to great extent. Now country like India, other parts of the world, they are taking it a serious issue, like establishing warehouses, establishing a transport system, like establishing so many things are there. A specialized system of cooling, NTP, normal temperature and pressure, such type of concepts they are being adopted. Such type of concepts, they are being adopted all over the world. And we can add to our discussion, like success of Apple was due to efficient supply chain management. Before launching of their iPhone, they had bought airspace all over the world. And when they were selling an iPhone, and you can say other counterparts or competitors reacted to the success of Apple. When they started to supply, they found that all over the world airspace was booked earlier. It was proactive approach, and Apple had a different strategy in terms of supply chain, and ultimately Apple's iPhone was a great hit, a great success. So we can adopt concepts of logistics, supply chain management. And then another one important issue that in case of supply chain, now it is a separate division. For that, responsible executives, they are appointed. Sometimes we can say the president supply chain, president's logistics, like that. And they have to keep, you can say, when cars, motors, trucks, and a special type of trucks and aeroplanes, choppers are there. Shipping may be there. Maritime shipping or maritime transportation in international trade. Now again it is a big issue that are establishing modern port, or you can say they modernizing their ports so that they can handle they are or you can say vacating a whole ship. Like in case of India, it takes at least 2 or 3 days to vacate a whole ship. Like in case of countries like Philippines and Singapore, hardly they take 15 hours or 20 hours. So ultimately the cost of delaying is being borne by the importer, and it is a big issue. Ultimately the cost of production is going high. Another one concept is that like in case of digitalization of where banking operations are there, or you can say day-to-day affairs are there, and each you can say in case of global e-businesses, it is again another one of the popular trends or fashion or fad in global trends, like e-marketing like in terms of social media, Facebook, YouTube, or other platforms are there. Twitter is there, where people, or you can say country, they are promoting, they are using e-marketing and e-platform there. Companies like Amazon, company like Flipkart, and many countries, many companies, they have entered into several platforms. Google is there. So Google is providing several platforms. Paytm is there. So where they are part of you can say digitalization and e-business, where large number of transactions are taking place. Ultimately you can say it is a sort of in favor of the manufacturer. In this way, you can say middlemen, distributors, or retailers, wholesalers, they are being whipped out to great extent. And ultimately, country like India, middlemen, middle channels, they have been affected to great extent. Okay, then e-services, e-transactions are there. I have told you, and then e-business technology, e-processing of trade documents, and e-applications are there. Nowadays, with this one, e-transactions are there, e-business technology, e-processing are there. We can certainly we can submit so many things, are legal documents through while we are submitting to respective authority, government authority, legal requirements are there. So we are submitting various documents, essential document like GST operation in India is there. So we can submit digitally, we can submit with internet, and several you can say facilities they are available in the system. And again, it means in coming years, or you can say online operations will dominate, because it is a user friendly, it takes less time, less money, and by sitting pretty at your home, you can operate several functions from one point to other parts of the world. And most important, I think, now there is a next trend is that migration of talent professionals in the corporation. Migration of talent professional in the corporation. Ultimately, it is a sort of flight of talent from one country to another country. So we will, you can say, country like India, Brazil, they are South Africa, our least developing nation, they will face a lot of problem in terms of talent crunch, because people are going in search of excellence, in search of their well-being, in terms of earning dollar or higher salary. So they are just shifting their base of operation from, can say, their nation to other parts of the world. So it is a talent fight. Sometimes it is becoming very dangerous. Okay, and then Now operations are multi-way. It is happening because of multinational corporation, bigger transnational corporation, big global corporations are there. So they are crossing border. The whole world is affecting, and it is a matter of you can say satisfaction that center of development is shifting from developed nation to the developing nations or Asian countries are like India, Brazil, like Southeast Asia is there. So once head of Intel chief had said that I'm not worried about myself, I'm worried about sort of future of my grandson, because he will not get a job in either in Washington or Washington in developed nations. They will have to search their job in either in the Bengaluru or Beijing. So ultimately he was concerned about jobs. Sort of. The jobs are shifting, economies are shifting from developed nations to least developing countries or developing countries are there. Multinationals are coming there. They are investing. FDI is coming in third world countries. So they are, you can say, this is a sort of trend, and economies will be affected to great extent. Okay. Next one, more transparency in trading system due to e-business and social media. Like in case it is a matter of satisfaction, there will be transparency of working in case of our trading while they are transacting with other parts of the world, or you can say transaction among the nation, among the countries, like that. Okay. Then like infotech revolution in India and other part of the world, it is also one of the reason for these change coming into future, coming into the, you can say, governments or countries operations of business. Like they have impact on such type of things. They have impact on international trading system, and this system is growing like anything. The infotech revolution, ICT, information communication technology, like usage of Android phone, usage of iPhones, or usage of computer. So such type of things they are dominating. Another concept is very important, and a sort of it has impact, like robotization of manufacturing. Like you can say one robot is just doing the job of 20%, 50%, 100% at a time. So ultimately it is robots are affecting employment to great extent, and creation of an unemployment, like that. Okay. Though where it like dangerous, where dangers are there, or you can say hazards are there, so computer can rush, but in case of, you can say, several operations are there where robots are conducting their duties job, or you can say manufacturing job. Ultimately they are affecting well-being of, or you can say status of workers and employees. Another thing, statement from Bill Gates, you can say this last year, that he said that just tax the robots, because they are doing the job of 20%, 50% or 100% at a time. So they must be robots must be taxed 20 times or 50 times or 100 times, and such a collection of revenue must be spent on the people they are affected to great extent. So this is the issue in future, it may come into fore, and you can say it may be a sort of an issue in trade deliberations. And next one, that emerging global R&D hubs, emerging global R&D hub, like Cisco, Eli Lilly, or Siemens, LG, and many countries, they are shifting their R&D base from their developed nations to developing nation because of lower employee cost of maintenance, and at least in India more than 200 R&D centers they have been established since last 10 years, because they are bringing they are cutting the cost because of salaries and establishment costs and operational costs are there. They are making innovation basket, at least $27.5 billion investment in R&D up to 2010. Actually it is a sort of old figure. Then in case of India, 2000 global companies in IT, biotech, chemicals, automobiles, consumer needs, consumer goods, and pharmaceutical companies. So this money, and now it you can say more than $30 billion up to this date have been invested, or FDI has arrived in India. That companies like Oracle, Intel, IBM, Adobe, STM, SAP, Texas, Delphi, they have arrived in India. And you can say many companies they have arrived in a country like India, Brazil, South Africa, Southeast Asia. They are, you can say, contributing like anything. Along with that, consumer behavior is changing because of infotech revolution, like in case of FMC. Likings and disliking are there. So they want latest product up to the latest product, or you can say innovative products. So this is a sort of a drastic change in consumer behavior. Any question? Next one is constant innovation of in every sector, whether pharma is there, whether IT sector is there, FMCGs are there, consumer durable are there. So everywhere innovations are being adopted, or you can say computer industries are there. So everywhere computerization is there, or you can say latest gadgets are being adopted. So sometimes innovation is so fast that people have worried to great extent. Like we heard about latest product, or everyday innovation news is there, weekly, fortnightly, monthly, quarterly, or 6 monthly. We can say innovative news, they are coming into picture. Ultimately they are affecting our operations. And sometimes CEOs or chairmen of big organization, they too are also buried. They cannot change machines, they cannot change their operation, they cannot change mindset of the employees overnight. It is not possible. So somewhere it is good enough, somewhat it is bad enough in operating the system of organization. Like in case of chemical industry, like in case of consumer goods, or like in case of consumer durables are there. So innovations on the part of companies, it is good enough, but it is you can say sort of a negative concept in developing nations, where they have limited resources or limited manpower, or there is a dearth of skilled manpower. They don't have infrastructure, or system to train them or skill them. So they are coming very fast. Or another one, in case of climatic change, several typhoons they are coming, or you can say wrath of nature. Typhoons, cyclones, hurricanes, they are coming into Pacific Ocean or Indian Ocean, Bay of Bengal, Arabian Sea, or in Southeast Asia. They are affecting global trade, international trade to great extent. And it is becoming a big problem, big issue that that their operations are affected to great extent. And sometimes these nations face unpredictable things in their business operations. Like there was a wars are there between China and India, and there is a war between Israel and Palestinians are there. So such type of things are a Cold War between Russia and America, problems because of North Korea. So such type of issues, they are common, and ultimately they are affecting trade to great extent. Ultimately, world peace at in the global level, it is highly needed. It is highly needed so that is easy, or you can say a smooth operations of international trade can be conducted to great extent. Okay. Then any question? Any question? Okay. Thank you. Thank you.